And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Solar Expanse in our attempts to terraform Mars using our fusion ships here. And yeah, definitely have an interesting time trying to get the pressure up here on Mars. I think that has to do with how the water is interacting as we get more and more released. Okay, water and noble gases in that location. That makes it an interesting place to crash into things. Carbon, carbon. More carbon. Those are probably water carbon asteroids. Yeah, some of our water carbon asteroids were in fact replaced with water carbon asteroids. Fair enough. Yeah, and we're already ready for the next batch of nitrogen to come down from Trident. And then we'll do the return trip from Mars back up to Trident. Again, there isn't enough nitrogen on Triton to fix Mars, but oh, is it going to be fast, am I? In fact, I think it's going to be like only like an atmosphere worth, but or a tenth of an atmosphere worth, but that's still more than nothing. In comparison to some of the other places we're mining, that's fast. Ishtar has crashed into Mars. That was, I believe, a nitrogen water asteroid. Okay. So now, in Mars orbit, I got 27 engines. Igenia needs 29. So I actually need to go fetch 2 more engines. Got 1 at Luna. Am I engine short? I might be an engine short. We'll get another one into construction just in case I need another one. Here, 27 at Mars. 27 Mars orbit. We picked the ones up at Deimos. There's none at Deimos. I've got 1 at the moon. None in lunar orbit. Any in Earth orbit. There are none in Earth orbit. Any Mercury orbit. There are none in Mercury orbit. Okay, so I need to build a second one. I need to get the. I should have already queued it up. Really, I was going to build another one. Whoops. Okay, well let's start doing deliveries while we're waiting. So these 27 engines can get dragged to Igenia on a Zeus. Okay. And then he'll go to the moon next. Pick up the one that is built and the one that is being built. Triton arrived at Mars. Okay. That's our nitrogen, and one of our nitrogen deliveries. So you to the moon. And we've already planned the return trip. Release 1,000 of you, 48,000 of you, all of you. And I suppose as we raise the pressure, we're mining the CO2 faster. The CO2 I'm mining, I'm trying to actually convert to oxygen. So let's raise oxygen production. This consumes, I believe it was, what, 9? For 1? Yeah, 0.09. Which makes sense, it was 5.4 tons. So with our increased production, we're now up to 6.61. So I can support 73 with no loss, 74 with a slight loss. So let's build another 14 electrolysis units. Because in the long run, I'd rather be releasing oxygen than CO2. Virginia arrived at Luna, so now we're waiting for the second one to be built. So we can move that asteroid and get that 300 kilotons of nitrogen released. Mars Life to Triton. Okay. How's the Triton mining going? Enough for 1 to go, but we'll wait until we have enough for 2. Jupiter, we're at 14.5, so that's getting close. Saturn, we technically have 1 on cyclical emission, so I don't have to pay too close attention to it. Although we can drag the water down as well, that'll be nice. Oh, Mercury, I've been not paying attention. I should be building out more... Oh, we've split all our CO2, that's fine, because we're mining it. We're mining carbon directly from stuff we crashed. So we got water for 10 years. The radiation protection, I need 4. Got enough to build 4. Okay, and that's going to cost about 1,000 energy, and I have 1,000 energy, so that's fine. Okay, the next thing would to start be working on temperature. For Mercury, that is solar shades. We'd have to bring polymer down there. Biggest storage of polymer right now is Luna. Let's have one of these Zeus's move polymer to... I technically had it sitting here in case I wanted to ship more to Saturn or Jupiter, but we'll ship it to Mercury orbit instead. Yeah, I'm surprised the shades are as much polymer as they are. Yeah, so we shipped enough in for 4. Question then is, can I launch enough alloys for 4? Sure, I think we can do that. So, Mercury orbit, orbital payload container. In Mercury orbit, I want to have enough up there to build 4 shades. I'm not going to be able to do the mental math of that. Well, if I round it down, I can. Let's say 48, or round it up. So 12 times 4 is 48, so it's 48,000. And then I need to load up exotic alloys. So that's that amount. At the Terraform orbit. Be there in 3 days. We're actually going to be waiting for the polymers. Yeah. Moon and Mercury. So with that, we can start working on bringing its temperature down. Orbital shades. Like so. Not sure how many shades we're going to need. It's going to be a lot. Because I'd like to probably, you know, get the average temperature below boiling. Just a smidge. Smidge below boiling. But we'll start with 4. The shades are a little interesting in that initially they're not necessarily super strong. The estimate we're getting is like a fraction of a degree, I believe. Yeah, 0.7 degree. Obviously, that would be prohibitive to build if I needed to build, because what, that'd be 200, probably like 200 of them we have to build. In practice, the more you have, the better they get, is my understanding. So the first couple are pretty terrible. And obviously, probably want to do that both on Venus and Luna. We'll work on Mercury first. Luna maybe doesn't need as many. Yeah, Luna maybe doesn't need as many. But I think we'll just work on Mercury first. And then I probably want to put that Zeus back to the Moon. Okay, so the asteroid engine is done. So get this Zeus going back to the Moon. It's not actually taking anything with it, we're just sending it back. And then on the Moon, those 2 engines are going to Hygienia and Hygienia. 5 of Zeus. Engines kind of need a object to shoot regular off to move. Plug into orbit. Something like that for fuel. Off it flies. In the meantime, how has the extraction on Triton gone? We actually missed the target. Mercury Luna is done. Get the 2 Zeuses going at full load. And we'll plan the return trip because we know we're just going to send them right back to Triton. As soon as they arrive. Luna arrived at Hygienia. Hygienia now has the 9 engines it needs to fly. So Zeus... we're going to crash that, obviously, into Mars. So we're going to send you to Mars. Send you ahead to Mars. Take the fuel. And then the engines will take the asteroid to Mars. Bring the entire asteroid. Yep, there's more nitrogen arriving. So we release that and the oxygen. Having this fly back empty to Titan. Oh, the pressure up to 0.16. Our ship's gotten back there. How goes the build out on Eve? Okay, so we're hitting the point where Jupiter is about to run out of things to build. How's Saturn going? Saturn is also done. Okay, so I need to ship more stuff if I want to continue building out more gas extractors. I think we do. You can sit around a little bit. You got about half of what you want for the next trip. So Mercury. Back these alloys to Saturn. Oh, it's not even that much more fuel to just go now. Just go now. And Luna. You're also going to go to Saturn. Take 10K out, or 10K polymers. Take extra electronics. Electronics are cheap. Electronics are valuable and expensive at the beginning of the game, and then you start making them, they become real cheap. Because you make them out of silicon rares and nobles, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And okay, they're valuable, but they don't really take very many nobles. Silicon's worthless, because it's everywhere. And the rares are really the only that's expensive on that. Okay, so Jupiter needs alloys. So let's get the Zeus to run to Callisto. And then at Callisto, we pick up alloys and come back. Okay, the alloys are what we need the most. Polymers are what we need the second most. Okay, see how many more we can get with that. Start. On Callisto, I have more power. Probably in a place where we want to be building out the metal more. Another. So that's 5, 10, 15 power. This is built 30. Let's go 20 power. See where we are. We might build more alloys at that point. At some point I'm gonna have to drag more power in, which probably wants to be radioisotope generators. Although I could always end up with stuff for receivers, I suppose. Okay, what missions were that was completed? Mercury and Luna to Saturn, okay. Saturn's going to start building more gas extractors. Okay, so 2 of you go back to Mercury. Might as well add hydrogen. Go back with a full load of hydrogen. Boosting. And one of you goes to the moon. Again, might as well come back with a full load of hydrogen to help with the boosting. And then I think I'll set this one up on a cyclical mission to Mars. So whenever the hydrogen or whenever the nitrogen is full, bring the nitrogen in. That was my ships returning. Yes. Saturn arrived at Mercury. Saturn arrived at Luna. If I want more queued up at Jupiter, I just need to really bring more alloy in. Also a little bit more polymer. I could do a run from Mercury with alloy, so let's do that. Mars arrived at Titan. Okay, so that's the trip return. This Titan. Gotta get cruiser Triton, which is not where it's going. Okay. So you're there. I already have the load boosted, do I? No, I don't. Put you there in preparation. You're maybe a little early. Mercury arrived to Jupiter. Okay. Okay, so we still have alloys. We're gonna get these 2 Zeuses back to Mercury, because we need more alloys later. Again, we might as well leave with hydrogen. It's megatons here in orbit, so not worried about running out of fuel here. And yeah, the next thing I need is actually more polymers. So you're gonna make a run to Ganymede. Ganymede back to Jupiter orbit. Load what we got on the Pelican. Make the return trip. Triton. We got the nitrogen for the next return trip. Next trip to Mars. The 2 Zeuses. Then Mars to Triton. Leave the nitrogen behind, and return. Yeah, take fuel on the way back, just in case we need it at Triton. How's the CO2 extraction going at Venus? We're ready for another run to pick up some. I'll have you do a run to Venus. And then the return trip from Venus orbit to Mars. With the ZO2. There we go, that works. Mars arrived at Venus, and should rapidly return to Mars, and there we go. There's the CO2 release. The CO2 ready for the release. Titan arrived at Mars. Okay, so let's do that in tandem. $24,000 tons of CO2. All that nitrogen. All that oxygen. I'm not so sure how quick this updates, but 0.16 is either what we were after before. First batch of orbital shades, I think, done on Mercury, or was that the second batch? First batch. So give that a moment, and then Mercury's temperature should update. Where's the life to Triton? Okay. It'll be ready fairly soon for the next trip. Yeah, I'm not sure how much that helped, but presumably it did. Here we go. Hygienia crashes into Mars. We're saying more nitrogen. I think we now have more nitrogen in the Martian atmosphere than CO2. And presumably that updated because we're at 0.18 now. Okay, time to find another target to crash. I suppose, how is Lutuccia's mining going? Still mining that metal. And 7.2 years left. 108 on the silicon. The food supplies will last 54 in a bit. So we probably unload this whenever we run out of food, or when we're about to run out of food. Even if we're not mining at that point. Probably unload it and then crash it. To do the rest. And Ceres is still able to make its own food and water. There's maybe even an argument to crash Ceres if I didn't want to try to terraform Ceres. I think Ceres is the only one of the really big asteroids that makes sense to maybe terraform. Although you'd have to do ground-based radiation shielding, I suppose. Okay, time to find a new one. New one for crashing. Near-Earth objects. So we've got water noble gas things. So if I wanted to use noble gas to pressurize it, I could technically crash a bunch of these water noble gas ones in. I don't think we need more rares yet. In fact, I don't think we'll ever need more rares because we've got 2,000 years. We're mining at a rate that's sufficient. Oh, and that's being with the auto mines that we've unloaded from places. Yes, we're mining at a rate that's sufficient to keep the electronics running, even if I don't bring more rares into Mars. So, water carbon or water noble gas. Degrees for water carbon. Got comments for water noble gas or carbon noble gas. It did work out. The helium is gas if we can't release it once we've mined it, but if we crash into the stuff, it'll stay gaseous. So we could use that to pressurize, so I want to just bring a bunch of helium down. Okay, we've run out of nitrogen sources for the moment, so nothing else has nitrogen until I find some more. So these helium, nitrogen, water asteroids are probably the next set of stuff to crash. Unless I just want to focus on water for the crashing. Then we can do the water carbon ones. So how many engines are you going to take? You're pretty heavy with 16. You're maybe not very high yield for 16. This is only going to be, well, include the helium. The helium is actually apparently one of the heavier components in this one. So it's water helium mostly with a little bit of noble gas. We'll favor that. That's one of the ones we're thinking about. You're really light. We're definitely taking you. You're so light we can have an Atlas come pick you up. You're pretty light. You're 3. Definitely think about 3. 3 is easy enough. There are 3. Yeah, we do 3s. 3s make sense. The 16's a little heavy. That's why I'm like, It's mostly worthless mass, and that's really light. I can do that. Although you're 2 atlases. Is the other one 2 atlases? Were you 2 atlases as well? No, you're straight up 1 atlas. Okay, so you're gonna get the atlas treatment. Okay, so you're getting the Atlas. You're the heaviest. So that's maybe an argument just to go get you first. 16 engines. And I've got a Zeus here in Mars orbit. We've got 29 engines, so engines are gonna be easy to move. You. And a Zeus. So that's 1, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Should be enough for there and back in. You're sorted, you're sorted. You're fairly light, 3 engine. So you'll be next. Off they go. Okay, so 3 of them we already arrived at. Actually, sent 3, so that makes sense. Okay, so you get back to Mars. You are taking the entire asteroid to Mars. Let's take the entire asteroid. Go. And then... let's let the entire asteroid go. Leave immediately. There we go. Wait 3 days for these guys to leave. They've begun leaving. So now I can tell they're source asteroids. Begin flying to Mars. There we go. The first one's already hit Mars. The Atlas is fast after all. Go park you back in Mercury. At this point, we're going to be releasing nitrogen in the atmosphere, or the double gas in the atmosphere as well. How goes the mining at Triton? Okay, ready for Zeus transfer. Leave that nitrogen behind and move on. Here we go. Titan's almost ready for a boost of water. Jupiter we have set on cyclical mission for transport. Saturn we have set on cyclical mission transport. Nitrogen now. Oh, we had our first collision of the bigger ones. Okay. Oh, that was the bigger of them as well. Okay. So that means I have enough that I can move the other ones. So you needed 3. You needed 1. Three. That's acceleration. And 1. Check that one's 1. Yeah, 1 if we're doing asteroid engines, 2 if we're doing Atlas. Which is why we're doing the asteroid engine and not the Atlas. Because I only have 1 Atlas, I've got a couple asteroid engines, let's say. Let's just say. All of them arrive. Yeah. Okay, so Zeus, return to Mars. Zeus also returned to Mars. We go like 3 days, so the Martian ones depart. And we tell these engines, take your asteroid straight to Mars. Okay, so all those asteroids are set up for their collision plan into Mars. And the Triton nitrogen has arrived. It's 1,000 tons of you. All of you. All of you. At this point, I'm going to start releasing noble gases because we'll slurp them back into the atmosphere as we need them. Because as the pressure rises, that's going to swap over to pulling into the atmosphere. Okay, so that was the Zeus returning. Got a lot of Jupiter going. Got a lot of Saturn going. Now, Jupiter has enough water. We're going to do a water transfer to Mars from Jupiter. Actually, I'm going to be even lazier. Let's just say this is a cyclic mission. Add. When water is available, ship it to Mars. That does basically mean I'm one Zeus short. We'll probably want another one for sitting at Mars for retrieving the alloys and such as I need them. But... although I could probably do that as easily with the Chronos that we've got sitting in the system for doing it. The orbital shades we boosted, or materials for the orbital shades have now assembled themselves into orbital shades. The theory of reducing the temperature by 3 degrees. Mercury, we're gonna need more than that. We're gonna need a lot more than that. But it is a start. I'm gonna be up in orbit to see the cost. Yeah, probably need to boost some more. Get some more going. I'm not as desperate for the polymers, although I don't really have as much piled up as at Luna. Yeah, the polymers is definitely going to be the bit that bites on that. I could get more assembled at Mars, because of all the water carbon asteroids we've dropped. We've got a lot of carbon on Mars at this point. Like, that one's going to take forever to get to mine, but that's what we're mining. Got a lot there, got a lot there. 3.7 megatons at 0.5. In fact, if we ever get down to that one, that one's going to run out relatively quickly, probably, as a side effect. Yeah, probably build up and get more polymers going. If I want to be, say, in Mercury orbit, if I want to be building those shades at full speed. Although those do build pretty slow. So I need 5,400 polymer times 2 every 1,200 days. So I need the ability to make about 9 tons a day. Let's try to see if we can boost Mars to producing 9 tons a day. Oh, also I can do another 10 CO2 crackers. They're mining the CO2 faster as the pressure goes up. Rid of those. And that's going to bring me up to like 5 tons of carbon. And that's enough to run 100 polymer extractors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Built whatever I can. Okay. I don't know. It's good enough reason as I need to stop building more. Yeah. we're at the point where we can do another run of this. In fact, it won't be long until we can run the next run. So Titan to Mars. 2 Zeuses make the run. Territorian does the holing. And then we plan the return trip right away from Mars. And then as soon as we get back to Titan, we're probably going to be planning the return trip back to Mars with the next load. Okay, you're at a position where we can do a lift. Kronos, please lift me. Cyclical mission. Cyclical mission. Kronos. I'll actually have it try to lift both. Hopefully this doesn't glitch out. It should technically work, because we've got both of those there. Crashing in things into Mars. 2 collisions with Mars. It's more nobles. More water. And there goes the third one. Okay, so that batch of stuff for crashing has crashed. So time to find some more things to crash. So getting back to the top of the list, I don't think we've discovered anything else new. We don't really need more metal, don't need more rares. We're not going to crash Ceres. We got water carbon, water carbon. Or we can crash one of the comets. How much do I need to rejoin the comet? 13. This will bring in some helium, some noble gases, and some water. Sure. Bringing you down for a crash. Oh, interesting. The asteroids are not deletable. Or the comets are not deletable. Hopefully I can still crash them into things, and I'm not just bringing you to, well, even though just bringing it to Mars orbit, that's probably fine enough. Okay. Engine, transport, Mars orbit. Ooh, I'm not sure why my voice decided to break at that point. 13 engines riding on a Zeus. So 1, 11... 12, 13. Okay, that's 1. And again, I'm not really that worried about the carbon. I could technically bring the noble gas. I could like bring Halley's Comet down, or Faye, 4P4A. I'm not gonna bother. Don't need the noble gases. Helium is not that important. The water, at least in Encol, is what we're interested in there. So yeah, we're on the water carbon asteroids at that point, because water is the other thing we want to crash. How many do I need for you? 18's more than I have. We'll put you in favorite because we're thinking about you. At least until I start searching for new ones. Put you on favorite, but you're going to be pulled by the Atlas. You're an Atlas. If it's green, it's Atlas. So what those are. Oh, you're another Atlas. $13. We're sending most of them after the one we're pushing right now, so I don't have very many more. Although 13 I can do. 13 we can do. Got 16. You only needed 13. Zeus. 1, 11, 12, 13. And you're the first of ones the Atlas can go after. Oh, and I've got nitrogen interleads. Okay, was that all 3 of my arrivals already that quickly? Yes, that's all 3 arrivals. Okay. Let's do the gas release. And then we'll do a crashing. So, I'll actually do the returns first. So, you to Mars orbit. You to Mars orbit. It says I can just go back to Mars anyway, it doesn't matter. It means the hydrogen will end up on Mars and not in orbit. So wait 3 days. Them to launch. And then we're gonna order the flights. Bring the entire asteroid. There you go. There we go. Okay, our ships arrived, and our first collision has arrived. So the Atlas has collided. Has brought its product in. Off to the next one. Okay, so that one's the one we can move, and that's the one it can move. Okay. And the Titan group. Have they got back out there yet? Not yet, but it's on its way. It won't be much longer. April. Yeah, oxygen concentration is just a little low. With all the nitrogen rolling in at this point. Okay, what are we waiting for? I think we're waiting for... Oh, actually. You've arrived, so you can get a collision planned and carried out, and probably moved on to the next one before anything's going to arrive. Take the entire asteroid along. Okay. And once again, you're out to the next one. Out to sunset. Which point we're probably going to be back to finding more asteroids pretty quickly. 2P ankles crash. So yes, we can crash the comets. Comets have been crashed. Okay, so that's the crash about to happen. Let's get nitrogen shipment to Mars. Immediately plan the return trip. Okay, here we go. Another collision. Rapidly percussive terraformation continuing. We're up to 0.22 atmospheres. Okay, so the Atlas is going to go park back at Mercury until we need it. We got one more collision to go, I believe. Okay, we got one more planned. And then you need 18. I think I need all my engines to get to do 18. Yeah, we need the ongoing collision done before we move on to the next one. Okay. More nitrogen has arrived. So if anything, our oxygen levels are going to drop, because I'm maybe getting a little aggressive with the terraforming here on other issues. Yeah, I think supply consumption I think is rising because we're outrunning our capacity to make oxygen. Yeah, and we got more CO2 coming in, so we'll work on crashing or converting that to oxygen. 9.32 divided by 0.09, 104, up from our 84. And then we are net producing water, so I should probably do some electrolysis as well to get that water converted. So another 15 electrolysis plants. Okay. Getting more aggressive at producing oxygen, which we need. That's good. Titan orbit, we have some nitrogen. Let's get that to Mars. On a Zeus. And then let's get the return trip planned, because I think we're almost going to want a return trip. In fact, I think I want to send another one from Titan to... or from Mars to Titan. Basically doing the opposite of this trip. Grab the water. Okay, I want to. There and back again. Although, no, because I want to do. It's like Google's always doing the orbit transfers, so just do this one. And impulse, constant. Return trip. Titan orbit to Mars. Did I screw up and I sent the other one to... Let me check the outbound. I might have screwed up and sent the other one to go to Titan, which is not what I want. Mars orbit target Titan. No, that's wrong. I want Titan orbit. Sorry. What we want is not on Titan, it's on Titan orbit. In orbit. Go. Now I can go. Titan orbit, swap, flying for Mars, and water. Here we go. Another collision with Mars. Okay, up next is 18 to you. Mars orbit, engines. You. Riding a Zeus. So that's 1, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's acceleration. That. Okay. I need to find another usable target. There is... What's on you? How many do you need? You're 18. You're a little... Oh, in fact, you're the one I'm targeting right now. That one's not going to work. It's already on the target list. The outer belt. Okay, so I've got 2 potential targets in the outer belt, and then I'm out to the Greeks. And I don't think we can respawn the Greeks. You're 16. We'll put you on the target list because we're semi-interested in you, but you're too heavy for current push. You're 11. You are appropriate weight for the current push. So you will be the one we're pushing next. Don't I have another? Oh, I sent it to the Titan. I'm gonna wait until the to get another ship back. And then at the same time, I've worked out. We're gonna try to grab the unspawning Greeks because I know the Trojans didn't respawn. I've pulled all the Trojans. The Trojans are gone. So let's not pull the Greeks just because they're Greeks, and I don't need them that badly. At least not yet. So on Discover, Earth orbit, get to discovering new ones. Because apparently we're running out of asteroids that aren't made of metal. Okay, you've arrived. So we can have the Zeus fly back. Fly you to orbit so we can immediately plan the next mission. And you need 11, which is what we got. Okay. I'm gonna give 3 days for this guy to leave. Left. So now you fly for collision course with Mars. Okay, we're gonna do more gas release on Mars. Release nitrogen, release oxygen. How's the... Okay, CO2 is at the point where we want to do another grab from Venus as soon as I've got a Zeus free. Which is actually right now. Go grab more nitrogen. Yep, there you go. Mars arrives at Venus and immediately turns around and goes back. There we go, we got CO2 to release. Go ahead and release most of that. So over the last 1,000 tons. Release more oxygen. The average temperature is still increasing as we're pressurizing the planet. Although we're still apparently having all our water hide in the poles. Or is boiled at this point. Found any new objects. Yeah, the equator's a bit warm, the poles are a bit cold. No, you've been there for a while, so you get back to Mars. Okay, we'll wait for you to launch. First collision on Mars. Okay, you've launched, so we can get you. Do that transit. Okay. Okay, so 18 engines to... not that one. 18 engines to that one. Zeus just arrived. You've arrived. So So back to Mars with the hydrogen to run along for fuel. Give you a couple days to leave. And then you are on rendezvous with Mars. Out of Triton, I haven't been paying attention. We got 2 loads of nitrogen to deliver. Whoops. Okay, here the spacecraft is back, just waiting on the 2 collisions. There goes the build out at Jupiter, still going. And the build out, it's still Jupiter. Saturn, still going. Triton arrived at Mars. Okay, so that's our next load of nitrogen. Another collision with Mars. Some more water, more carbon. And yeah, I think we're going to bring this part and bring the stream to close after this next collision with Mars. Terraformation has definitely been moving. We're about a quarter of the way done with getting the pressure up. And if anything, we're maybe running a little fast on things that are not oxygen. Oxygen's falling a little behind. We'll have to spend most of, I think, the next stream, the early part of next stream, finding new things to crash. Got more nitrogen. Okay. The Stellaris soundtrack ran out. Sorry about that. Going out. Here's our collision. Let's move on to the different playtrack. This one gets a little loud, bits of it. Because we're about to come to a close here. So there we go. We've got, at least this nitrogen as well. Give it a little bit of time to cycle in. But yeah, we've been crashing a lot of water, crashing a lot of carbon, crashing some other stuff into Mars. We've got the atmospheric pressure in theory up to 0.25. I've run out of water again on Mercury. Gonna have to bring more water to Mercury so we can keep the farms running. Got 5 years to sort that out. I'll have to remember that for next time. But yeah, we need to get the temperature down on Mercury for terraforming Mercury at some point. The shades do, I understand, get better. But the first couple are pretty weak, especially on places like Mercury. Somewhat neutral shades on Luna. We're the right composition of oxygen, right radiation strength. We need to get temperature down a bit. We need the atmosphere up there. The big place we've been terraforming is Mars, and again, we're about a quarter of the way done by releasing oxygen and nitrogen and such. We're 1.6 megatons of nitrogen, 1.2 megatons of carbon. We are slowly pulling the carbon out and splitting it back, or splitting it to carbon oxygen, which is maybe one reason I'm not super worried about carbon here on Mars, because we're processing the CO2 as well. But yeah, I suppose we're technically mining double gases. Well, we're probably mining that deposit, not that deposit for the moment. that's for industrial stuff. And yeah, we've collided some helium in, and that happened to be nicely becoming gas for us. We've been attempting to discover more asteroids. Not sure how useful / successful that's been. Well, there's another water one there that'll at least be useful. Depends on what's on those helium ones. Nothing new in the medium belt. Are you actually running? Guess maybe we could check. Earth orbit is busy, so it is still trying to discover stuff. So yeah, we're making progress. At this point, we're down to, as I brought up earlier in the stream, we're down to 2 achievements, which is Terraform Mars and Terraform Mars by 2600. I think we're on track to terraform Mars by 2600, especially because if I'm reading the achievement correctly, it is complete Mars atmosphere. So it's not even a true perfect Earth-like, it's get the atmosphere in the right range. And that low bound is a little low by my standards. Let's just say that's a little low. I also want to get Blue Mars as well, so we're definitely going to do these 2. I think we're on track to get these 2 done by that date. This second one's actually really, at this point, is really easy. Because I think we got enough water on Mars to do the bottom one. I think what's stopping us with doing that one is it's not liquid. Right, so there's 600 kilotons there, solid. There's 100 kilotons there, solid. 600 kilotons there, solid. 600 kilotons there, solid. Okay, that's not very much, but like, okay, so we're that one plus that one plus that one plus that one is like 2 megatons, plus this is another megaton in the atmosphere, so like 3 megatons of our ideal ocean level. So we're about a third of the way on the ocean if we can get it to be liquid. And I think what I need to do to get it to be liquid is we need the pressure up. In fact, we might literally need the pressure in that range. We might need it 0.55 to 1.25. As we get the pressure up, that's going to raise the minimum temperature. We may actually need to cool the planet down a little bit because the maximum temperature is getting a bit high. But yeah, the minimum temperature, the better that gets, I think the more likelihood this is going to be liquid and not just giant ice cap. Because that's kind of what it is at the moment. We got giant ice cap. But yeah. And I know I think the way the game simulates liquid water's effect on temperature is it moderates it. It brings the range down. So as we get more and more liquid, the range should narrow. So we're probably a little bit hot because we'll probably end up with min over 0 at the moment as we get the pressure up. But and then we just turn a Venus mirror off at that point, and that solves that temperature range. Yeah, the run is going well. Apparently Mars is at the point where it is actually consuming food. It's probably because we've reduced the oxygen composition too much. We're probably taking a malus from that. Yeah, our habitability was higher. I think we've let the oxygen level get a little too low. But we're on the way to fixing that. That's turning up the oxygen production. Which is splitting more oxygen, splitting more water. And we've got a pretty big stockpile there, so I can probably turn the water splitting up a little bit. But yeah, I hope you have been enjoying. If you're watching on YouTube, we should, by all plans, have another part up tomorrow. The terraforming is taking longer than I'm expecting, but it is at least somewhat enjoyable finding all these asteroids and setting up new routes to drag more stuff down. Although at this point, yeah, I think we've hit the point where we're actually getting enough nitrogen in. We're actually being held up by the lack of oxygen. Or, in fact, we're putting the nitrogen down faster than the oxygen, so we're getting a little bit of a problem from that. But at least once we think we're close enough, I can start diverting nitrogen to the moon or Mercury, and then we can do more oxygen. Or I can drag oxygen in. Yeah, I got quite a bit of oxygen on the moon. I can drag the lunar oxygen in. Making a little bit, or we made a little bit on Earth. We're not making any more on Earth. Although I could probably make some on Earth. But yeah, let's go over the schedule. If you're watching on Twitch, today we were obviously streaming Solar Expanse. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming Solar Nations 2. I think we're going to finish up Solar Nations 2 tomorrow. Tuesday will be Factorio. Wednesday will be Shadow Empire. Thursday we'll be back when we're streaming Solar Expanse again. I kind of want to terraform 3 bodies here. I suspect Mars isn't the hardest of the bodies I'm planning on terraforming. Because I think it's small. Is it smaller than Mercury? I think it's about the same size as Mercury. Oh no, Mercury's a little bit smaller. So it might actually be the hardest of the 3 I'm planning on terraforming. But I want to terraform Mars, Mercury, and Luna. We kind of already terraformed Titan. It might be interesting to try to finish terraforming Titan. That's really just getting enough oxygen released, and not pulling too much of the gases off, and then Titan would be done. Like, that's where we're on Titan. Like, literally where we're on Titan. Although that is a lot of oxygen. That's why we haven't started on there, because it's a lot of oxygen. But yeah. Yeah, I think we're doing good. No, there's too much. Actually, yeah, there's too much water there, although we're getting pretty close. I might have to, if I want to terraform Titan, I might want to turn the water production down. In fact, I think we'll end up doing that. Assuming I remember next time. But yeah, that's the upcoming plan. Solar Nations tomorrow, Factorio, Shadow Empire. We're back to this on Thursday. I would say the cycle will repeat, but I am suspecting that Solar Nations 2 is going to finish on Monday. It will probably, in the cycle, be replaced with Cultist Simulator. Whether that starts on Monday or starts on Friday is going to depend upon how long it takes for us to finish Solar Nations 2 on Monday. I at least want to give it like 2 hours the first stream day. So if we take more than 2 hours to finish Solar Nations 2, I'll find something else to fill up the rest of the stream with. And then we'll start Cultist Simulator on Friday. But that is the upcoming schedule. I hope everyone has been enjoying, whether you're watching this later on YouTube or on the Twitch VOD or watching it currently on Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube and you are interested in watching any of the things that I've just brought up on the schedule and you don't or can't wait until they show up on YouTube, because of the delay between when I record this and when I upload it, for people watching this on YouTube, this part should have gone up already. Or those parts should have already been recorded on Twitch before this part goes live. From when I'm recording this to when this part gets posted, it should be a 6-day offset. So I just told you the next 4 days, so that technically was 4 days from my perspective. So that should technically be in your past. And just a reminder, I'm streaming this live to Twitch under the username WillCole, and I'm uploading the local recording to YouTube under the username WillCole100. So until next time, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.